Hey Kirsten, I think I can better address the questions that you had on your marketing plan maybe by doing this short video. So here goes. Let's start. Okay. Of course, introduction. You need to get in there and market research and why and market research how. Let's talk about market research and how we go about it are the two different types. Really, there's primary and secondary research. And primary research would be that type of research that would require you to do something like a survey. Okay, could you do that for this? Sure. Survey Monkey, you can send out, a survey, a simple one to, all the people on your email list that live in that area. It can also be like focus groups where you might assemble a group of friends. Certainly they can be friends, relatives, and say, what do you think? What do you think about this idea and where should I take it? Okay. And it can be other things that are, that you initiate yourself, that you actually physically go out and do yourself. Okay, that's primary research, and that may or may not be the answer here. The second is secondary research, and secondary research gets into a lot of the other things that we're going to have to look at here. But that may be a simple matter of finding information on the internet as to a growing desire to purchase recycled, refurbished types of products, those things. Okay, so there, you're using existing data, okay, as your research tool, I guess if you want to call it that, and plugging that into your marketing plan. And there should be any number of that, but it also includes things like, and we get that a little bit further down. What's your market? What's your available market? How many people live in your market area? How many people are going to have access? Well, is this going to be made available outside of your primary area? Is it going to be on the internet? Is it going to be those other types of things? And so a certain amount of your market research has to go into those things and coming up with some numbers, right? That might exist for your local area. That's easy. The Census Bureau is going to have information like that, as to how many people are within a certain age group, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so everybody needs to do some market research, whether it's primary or secondary or both. I don't really care, but it needs to be fairly lengthy. And again, the secondary is going to figure into some other things, right? Okay, industry analysis. Well, again, you're going to need to talk about, I think, and this probably gets into your secondary research, what's going on in the world with refurbished and recycled types of products, and I see it more and more every day as, you watch a little TV or internet or whatever the case is, you're seeing emphasis put on some of these things, and so you're probably going to be able to find some information that are out there. Okay, your product, okay, that's fine. This doesn't work. Okay, it targets all ages with the products that we make. Again, and I think I mentioned this early on when I was talking about marketing. It's nearly impossible to have a target market that's everybody. Okay, I doubt that teenagers, for example, are going to be huge. Okay, you say young girls, that's fine. You're probably not going to see a lot of young guys coming in. I may be wrong about that, right? Men, women, boys, and girls of all ages enjoy refurbished decor or furniture. I can tell you that when my wife and I were first married, we had no interest in refurbished decor or furniture because we couldn't afford it, right? And so I think that you're missing the point here. That doesn't mean that you can't sell to everybody, okay? But it does mean that you're going to have a very, I think, a very focused, or you should have a focused market segment. And I'll let you decide what that is, but it's not everybody, okay? Because that's not where, if I had to guess, if I'm looking at your, your plan, it's going to be, more of a middle-aged type of a customer. It's like the new brewery here in town, maybe the one in Glasgow too. The market segment that is most appealing is middle-aged guys from 35 to 55. Now, if you go down and talk to Mike, who owns the brewery, he'll tell you that he sells lots of beer to lots of different people, including women and including college students that are of age and early 20s and into their 30s and et cetera, and then plenty of older folks too that exceed the 55. Okay, but he sells a plurality anyhow of his beer to guys in that 35 to 55 age group. Okay, and so when you're identifying a target market, that's all you're doing is where do you think that most of your sales are going to occur and why. Okay, and so reflect on that. And that doesn't mean that you can't have a primary, secondary, tertiary markets of folks that you're going to sell to, and it certainly doesn't mean that you're limiting your sales to those folks. Competition, here you're limiting yourself to just the local folks, but your competition is far greater than that. We live in a global world, and so your competition is all over the place. Okay, and you need to talk a little bit about that. And again, it's maybe their success though that also leads you to believe that a company like yours with refurbished products and whatnot could work pretty well. Okay. Obviously, you got to get through the competitive analysis quite a bit more. And again, I wouldn't focus on just the local one. I doubt that is your primary competition. My guess is that your primary competition is probably more online types of places where these things are available. Okay. And then, of course, this stuff you haven't worked on. I assume you're going to be putting quite a bit in here. And again, some of this probably comes from your secondary research, right? The niche that you're filling. Again, that's going to get back to your target market maybe, and what you're doing there. Your strategy. This is probably not a low cost strategy, so you're probably going to be a differentiation strategy. Okay, what promotion are you going to do? And promotion isn't always advertising, right? Promotion can be lots of other things. The promotional budget, you need to talk about that in terms of what's in your financial worksheets, of course. Pricing, how are you going to figure out your pricing? You're going to be a cost plus. That would probably be my guess, that when you figure out what it costs you to build something, put something together, refurbish something, including your time, I would hope, that then you're going to price it at 75% above that or 100% above that or whatever the case may be. Location, you're probably going to have a physical location, but you need to talk about how that's going to be expanded as well, because I would like to think that you're going to make some of these products available online too, so that you're going to be competing in that space. Distribution channels and likewise, you're going to have a couple at least, one being local, just the people that come in, and two being more of an online presence and being able to sell things and walk me through that. How are you going to set those things up? How are you going to establish that? Is it going to be Facebook? You're going to have a web page? You're going to do those types of things? Who's going to develop it? What services are you going to use? On and on and on. What credit cards are you going to accept? And those types of things are all important in that. Okay, and that leads you back then to matching that with sales forecasts that you made on your worksheet. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'm going to pause for a little bit, make sure I hit everything. I think one thing I missed a little bit, in your case I think it's important, is kind of a bit of a supply chain analysis. In other words, where are your items going to come from that you're going to refurbish and do those types of things. That's all a part of marketing. How are you going to get those things in and at what price, what cost, so that you can have them redone or have somebody else redo them and then get them to your shelves or into your inventory so that you can move those. Okay, so please walk me through and be really detailed about that supply chain and how you're going to come up with those types of things and what types of things are popular and whatnot. And then it also sounds like you've got the headbands, flowers, and those types of things, and I don't know if those are going to be sourced right through you, if those are things that you're going to make, et cetera, or if those are things you're going to buy from another supplier in order to move. Those are the types of issues that you have to address, and it's all a part of your marketing. This isn't really clear where all of your sales, where all of your inventory is going to come from, and so please clarify that, and then clarify how you're going to get it, and the different types. Break it down for me, and then how you maybe going to market the different types of inventory, and of course to whom. So hopefully that clears it up a little bit. Happy to answer any other questions. If you have some, feel free to send me an email or a note, and keep plugging away at it, please. Thanks.